Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of ADM. First of all, a very happy new year to each one of you. And I know I haven't uploaded any video from a long time. It's mainly because I was not well since past few days. So yeah, I am back now, and this video I'll be talking about GRE exam. So in last video I had discussed about GMAT exam, its structure, its content, and some tips to how to tackle some questions in it. So let's move ahead with GRE right now. All right. So GRE, the full form stands for Graduate Record Examination. So ये टेस्ट बेसिकली ऐसी होती है. It measures your verbal reasoning, your quantitative reasoning, and of course your skills for critical thinking and analytical writing. Because there is obviously a section, as we discussed in GMAT also, there was a section of analytical writing. In GRE also there is one section. So now these skills, they are not something which are developed in just a short period of time. This is something which you have been developing since your childhood. So they are not related to any specific field of study. And the skills which are associated in these section, they are they are not any specific type of skills that are very much related to a field like business only, or maybe just engineering. It is something that will be used in all sort of fields, like the whichever you can imagine, like engineering, business, law, architecture, any sort of field. So this particular exam, it is dominantly used for by the aspirants who are looking for masters. So I'm not saying that the one who are planning to pursue MBA should not go for this exam, but it is dominantly used for masters. So moving ahead, I'll just tell you the breakdown of exam structure. And yeah, even before that, I forgot to mention in this particular part is that the cost of this exam is $228 in India. There is some sort of variation, but the difference is not very significant one. So in the breakdown of structure, the first section that you'll see, which I discussed earlier, is analytical writing. तो इसमें बेसिकली ये सेक्शन 60 मिनट्स का रहता है. एंड सिर्फ एक ही सेक्शन रहता है बट विद टू टास्क. So what they can do is they can either give you a topic, either give you a statement. On topic, they can straight away tell you to write something, and on a statement, they might ask you to like create a sort of debate scenario, or to create a constructive argument that might either support it or be against it. So accordingly, you will have to write. So how do you exactly write that? What you need to do is you have to articulate your complex ideas clearly and effectively. What exactly this sentences mean. अब जब भी कोई sentence पढ़ते हो या कोई एक word पढ़ते हो, there are multiple thoughts that keeps running in your mind. your thought processes रहते हैं वो बहुत कुछ रहते हैं. तो we have to like keep or frame them in an organized manner instead of being chaotic. So that is one thing that you should do. Second thing is support ideas with relevant reasons and examples. अभी कोई भी like sentences frame कर रहे हो, if you are writing about a particular topic, or supporting a particular topic, or in being against it, so you have to give some sort of relevant reasons and examples to it. Examples can be anything. It can even be statistics which are supporting your opinions, or any other sort of reports, articles, anything. So that you have to mention in this. Second thing is examine claims and accompanying evidences. Now, whatever you're writing in your this particular section, you need to like verify them first, whether they are reliable or not. And of course, you need to check like check their evidences also, which I've mentioned over here. And the next one is sustain a well-focused, coherent discussion. So what does this mean? So whenever you are writing in an analytical writing section, एक चीज ध्यान में रखो कि there will be multiple paragraphs that you will be writing. These paragraphs should be interlinked to each other, should not be of same content. There is difference between both of them. By interlinked, I mean the transition between first paragraph to second paragraph should be relatable. It should not be very abrupt. Even the ending should not be abrupt. So that is how this should be. And your all the sentences, all the paragraphs should be constructed in a well-focused manner. So the last part is control the elements of standard written English. Now, of course, you are going to write it in English, so you need to make sure that your punctuation, your grammatical mistakes, all the things are well under control, and your English should be fluent enough. Of course, and please don't use any sort of slangs or any sort of short forms like lol, all these kind of things. This is not well taken by the examiner. So basically, this is what was about analytical writing section. You need to make one more thing sure is that you only have 30 minutes for each task. So you simultaneously have to keep this in mind that you should be fast enough to complete both the tasks in under given frame of time. So that is something people usually forget while writing it, and they don't know how fast the time goes. So keep a watch on your time or whatever time limit is remaining. All right. So the next section is verbal reasoning. This is probably the trickiest section of this particular exam, as you might have already heard from a lot of people. But by tricky, I don't mean that it's going to be very difficult and you won't be able to solve it. You need to have some proper planning for this particular section. So how do you solve it? Now, firstly, you have to analyze and draw conclusions from discourse, reason from incomplete data, author's assumption and/or perspective, understand multiple level of meanings such as literal, figurative, and author's intent. What does this particular line means? So usually, whenever you are going through this section, there are multiple types of questions that you will be encountering. First one would be reading comprehension. Reading comprehension are probably the most time consuming questions in this section because you will be given an unseen passage. Maybe you might have seen or not, but usually it is an unseen passage. So इसको सॉल्व करते समय you have to keep one thing in mind is you have to read it in one go in such a way that you understand it and you don't have to reread it again. So that you need to make sure. Of course, I'm not saying कि एक गो में कर दिया तो फिर पढ़ने का ही नहीं कुछ भी हो जाए अगर नहीं समझ में आया तो भी. The aim should be that you have to read it in one go because time is the question. Time is actually the part that you have to focus on because you only have 60 minutes and there are overall 40 sections with two sections. Sorry, 40 questions with two sections. Now, why I have written over here 70 or 60 minutes is because 70 minutes is for the mode of exam that you are opting for. 70 is for offline and 60 is for the one you usually opt for online. So that is what the difference is. So whenever you're going through a reading comprehension, you need to understand the author's intent, the figure of speech, what they are trying to say. You have to understand multiple levels of meaning. There might be 2-3 paragraphs in it. So accordingly, you have to keep everything in your mind that what the author is trying to say. And yeah, there might be some things which probably ऐसा रहेगा you have to assume some things while you are reading a particular paragraph. It won't be given, or mentioned to you separately there. Some things you just have to assume. Or, from author's perspective, that is what he is trying to say, that you have to assume. The second is select important points, distinguish major from minor or irrelevant point, summarize text, understand the structure of text. This again, this particular point, it applies to reading comprehension as well as the other type of question, which is fill in the blanks or complete the sentence, these kind of things that we will discuss further. So what does this mean, distinguish major from minor or irrelevant point? Now, in a reading comprehension, it is always advised that you keep some significant lines or maybe incidences which you are seeing, or information, major information separately, because usually the questions which are going to be asked on that particular paragraph, around 60 to 70% the probability is that it would be asked on this particular chunk of information. So that is why this particular point I have kept it over here. The last thing is understand the meaning of individual words, sentences, entire text, understand relationship among words and among concepts. So this is dominantly towards, vocabulary based concept. Naturally, if you're going for GRE exam, you might have heard from a lot of people that your vocabulary has to be really strong, which is natural because आपको words ही पता नहीं रहेंगे कि which are being used in the reading comprehension or fill in the blanks or any other type of question, then you won't be able to understand the whole point or even the meaning of the sentences. And second thing is relationship among words and concept means that sometimes you have to understand what exactly the line is trying to indicate. Only then you will be able to maybe fill up the blanks or complete the sentences if you find the relationship among them. So yeah, the end point is vocabulary has to be strong because that is one of the most major thing in verbal reasoning. All right, so the next one which we are going to see is quantitative reasoning. ये वाला section I usually find it easier because math was my strongest subject. It depends and it varies from person to person. जिसका English अच्छा है, they will find verbal reasoning is easy, and जिसका math अच्छा है, they will definitely find quantitative reasoning easy. So again, इसमें two sections रहते हैं, 40 questions same. The difference is just of 10 minutes in time part, because offline में instead of 70, quantitative has 80 and online has 70 minutes. So what exactly comes under quantitative reasoning? The name itself suggests mathematical problems रहेंगे. So main trick यही है, you have to understand the question, what they are trying to ask, interpret and analyze the quantitative information. This is the only thing that you have to do. If you understand the question and you know the concept, you are, I think, half or more than half of the problem is solved then and there itself. Second thing, solve problem using mathematical models. So there will be some question which might be, which might be indicating to use straight away concepts of mathematics. So like, don't worry, there won't be, इसमें difficult चीजें नहीं होते, like calculus, trigonometry, these kind of things are not there. There are some basic fundamentals of geometry, algebra, arithmetic expression, these kind of things are there, which you can see here. All you have to do is apply basic skills and elementary concepts of arithmetic, algebra, geometry, and data analysis. These are the kind of things that you have to apply. In short, if you go through the syllabus of this particular section, you will find all the content of this section is still the part of 10th standard only. So 10th standard तक जो भी पढ़ा है, that is all that you will be facing in this particular section. So comparatively, quantitative reasoning section is much easier than the verbal reasoning. Now, if you have or if you want to know more about these sections or more about GRE, then you can go to this particular website, www.ets.org, where you will find all sort of information regarding these exams. So yeah, this was it from my side in this episode. In next episode, I'll be taking three exams together. I'll be talking about three exams together, IELTS, TOEFL and PTE, क्योंकि ये सारे English proficiency test हैं, and the test structure of the content is pretty much similar. So that's why I'll be starting with those in next video. Till then, if you like this information, kindly share, subscribe to my channel, and keep getting the updates on overseas education. Thanks a lot.